Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Today I've been experimenting with adjusting the let off on the Verdict. So I've been shooting the Verdict now I've shot 2 indoor rounds or 3 indoor rounds with it. My first one was a 299, which is good for me. I've only shot a couple of 299s in my lifetime. The next one was about a 296, but it was windy because I shoot outdoors. And the next one was windy also, and I shot 290. Now I shot some really good shots, like the sight pin did not move on the 10 and it was perfect. But what I found was the longer I aimed, the more this front arm started to shake around, and I mean it shook around. So some of the shots, dead still, perfect. Next shot, I was like moving around. Now I don't know if that's form or just fatigue, and again I'm going to say there was wind. So I was moving around a bit. I think I might have even shot an 8, right? So 290 is not good for me, 299 is very good, 295, 296, 297, I'm happy with our 300 at 18 meters. This is outdoors. So today I thought, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the let off. So my theory was that I was struggling with the weight of the bow, with all the weights on the stabilizer. So the large sums of weight on the stabilizers. So again, I'm going to say, to start off with, I'd be very settled, and then just trying to get the back tension off. And with the low let off, when I say low let off, very low holding weight, I was struggling to get this off. And I was finding I was shooting a few left arrows when I was struggling with this. Now if I was shooting a button or that finger, I could just punch it off, it'd be okay. But I thought, I'm struggling with the weight of the bow because I haven't been shooting compound much. The drawing back was fine, I'm very happy with the bow. But I want to experiment with reducing the let off. And I said that I think when I did the video on the Verdict. So today I've reduced it back more, so I'm going to talk about that. And we're going to shoot some arrows and see how it goes, because I actually haven't shot any arrows with it yet. So, so with the normal let off, it sort of drops down. So what we're doing is we're reducing that valley, so it's not getting that big in the big, so it peaks up and then drops down into a big valley. We're getting rid of that big valley, it's gone. It's going to be peaking and then just, probably holding about 65%. So, well, I don't know what it's holding, but we'll sort of see. So let's see how I go, and hopefully I can shoot between the cameras and not shoot a camera. Now, that shot felt really stable. It's going to feel a lot like the Supra that I used to shoot it with, about 65% let off. So with the Supra, you can get the PSE Supra in a low let off or high let off. I've had it in both, but this is in the low let off. That's what this draw cycle feels like. And to me, it feels a little bit more comfortable. Now, it may not feel like that to you, and that's what I like about adjustability. You can sit there and you can try stuff. And you can go, well, let's try this and let's see if this is better for me than the other. Look. That probably wasn't a 10, but I was moving around a bit, so. But it still feels comfortable to me. I don't feel the weight of the bow as much with less let off. The less let off you feel, the less weight you'll feel of the bow here. That shot actually felt really good. I don't know if it's a camera straight in front of me, which is putting me off, because I'm hoping I don't shoot the camera, or the other one which I'm shooting in between. So I'm shooting in between two cameras. So The one facing me and the one facing towards the target. Like, to me, this feels comfortable. Like, I'm a little bit out of breath, so I've got a bit of asthma. So that's the extent of my breathing. And when you've got asthma, the longer you aim, because you don't have a big lung capacity, the harder it is, if that makes any sense. So this is why exercise is really good for an archer, because it basically means you've got more lung capacity, so you're not going to run out of energy as quick. That felt pretty good. Like, there's a little bit of wind coming through, or a lot of wind coming through. Look, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know what the arrows are like, so we'll go down there and have a look. Now, I'm not unhappy with this hand. So these 3 arrows are pretty tight. Like, they're not 10s, but they're slightly high. These 2 are high and this one's in the middle. Now, I'm not unhappy with this because I know one of these I was moving around. And these 3 here felt pretty solid, the shots. So we're going to do it again and just have a feel for it. Okay, so when you're trying out stuff, like 6 arrows is not enough, 12 arrows is not enough. You've got to shoot it for a bit to get used to it. So while I'm doing this on video, I'm doing this to give you some sort of background in thinking about stuff. But it's more about, well, does this bow feel more steady for me now? Why do I want weight on stabilizers as opposed to no weight on the stabilizers? Because you'll see when I do the videos, I shoot quite well without stabilizers, with a basic whisker biscuit and a 5-pin sight. And here I am with all the stabilizers, a fancy scope, blade rest, peep sight, and I'm probably shooting arguably worse than I did with the bow with just a 5-pin sight. So, yeah. Again, there's more wind, and that's going to move my sight up a little bit. And across a little bit. So we'll try that. But you just get used to it. Now, I haven't been shooting a lot, so my muscles are not familiar, my release is not good. But the bow feels good to me. So the aiming feels really good. I normally shake around all over the place and it feels pretty stable. So let's just see how this goes. Okay, so I got blown from one side of the target to the other side, down the target, and then back on the target. But overall, that felt good. And when I released the target, when I released the shot, it was in the middle. But I'm telling you, I got blown from one edge of the target as far as way out to the blue, back to the other side of the blue, down to the bottom of the blue, and then back up to the gold. Now, what I find with a recurve is I get blown around less with a recurve because I'm actually holding more weight, so I'm less affected by wind. So I find with low let off, so like 50% let off as opposed to 90% let off, I'll find I'll get less wind movement, and that's on me and on the bow with 50% as opposed to 90%. That's me. You'll get less movement with stabilizers. The shorter the stabilizer is, obviously, and the more weight you have on the stabilizer. got kicked around a fair bit then. Now, in this weather where it's blowing, don't expect to shoot good scores. Like, don't put that pressure on yourself. If you're shooting a tournament and it's windy, don't expect to shoot your personal best. What you're trying to do is do your best, and hopefully your best will be good enough to beat the other competitors who are also trying to do their best. Because when it's less than ideal conditions, you're going to shoot less than ideal. I almost feel like we have qualifying events here. So they're called qualifying ranking events. And you shoot these events to get a national ranking, and the national ranking will get you on the Australian team. So the more of them you shoot, the more chance you've got to shoot a better score, because it's more chance you're going to have a good day as opposed to a bad day. So let's say you shoot 10 of them. Chances are 1 in 10 you're going to have nice weather for. Or if you just shoot one, you don't know what weather you're going to get. But that doesn't overcome the whole thing that you still have to train. Now that wasn't a great arrow, but it was nice and steady on the middle. That was a really nice shot. Don't know where it went, but it broke perfect. The release was good, follow through was good, felt good. And when you shoot, give yourself positive feedback. Too many people give themselves negative feedback and basically enforce bad shots. I always try and enforce good shots and good practice. So let's say you do a good release, you go, that's a good release. Or let's say the follow through of the front's good. You say, well, that was good. Let's say the aim was good. You say, that was good. If the timing through the clicker is good, you say, well, that was good. Now that shot felt pretty good. I got blown around a couple of times. I went right out to the red, came back, went right out to the red, came back, but I was very steady on the center. And that's what gives me confidence in this bow. So I'm very confident in the adjustability. I'm very confident in the way the bow shoots. I like the draw cycle. I like the adjustability. I like when you shoot the shot, there's just nothing there. So let's go down and have a look. So again, it's not a perfect 60, but those arrows are good. These ones are fractionally low with one in the 9. But it's very consistent for me. The shots felt good. There's a fair bit of wind around, so the shots were breaking nice. The bow feels better. And I'm not getting the shakes that I was getting on the higher let-off with this front arm shaking around. Now, sometimes this front arm wasn't shaking, but other times it was. It was like this. Now, that was all me and muscles, because other shots it was perfectly still. So you'll find some people shoot really well with high let-off and some shoot better with low let-off. And this is why you want a bow that's adjustable. So you can try stuff. You can spend time trying without having to buy modules or buy another bow. Because some bows you can't adjust stuff, and it makes all the difference. So just on that, so high let off to low let off, I'm finding low let off more comfortable. I'm wondering about whether I need to lengthen the draw length, maybe a smidge. I'm not thinking about limb stops yet. I am thinking about different stabilizers positions. I'm thinking about putting a little bit more weight on the right hand side to balance the bow, because the bow's slightly leaning to one side naturally. So I'm thinking about just putting maybe 2 ounces on the right hand side of the V-bar. But overall, I'm very happy with it. But when you try this stuff out, give yourself time. Shoot it for several weeks. Record scores. And like today is not a good day for recording scores because it's just so hit and miss. So you might actually be shooting well, but not record a good score, if that makes any sense. So you're kind of giving yourself a negative, but it's a positive. So you might be going, well, that's a bad score. But actually, it was a good score for the day. So think about it when you do it. Like for me today, I'll probably shoot 60 arrows with this bow, with the compound, and then I'll probably shoot 60 arrows with the recurve. And depending what the wind's like with the recurve, I'll probably be okay scoring in this wind because I don't think it'll move me around that much. But it'll just be getting up the quantity of the arrows to build up my muscles. I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching.